Hello, everybody. Welcome your asses back to another episode of Sniffin Lines. This is episode 16. I'm your boy Hunter Michels. We got a lot to talk about. You guys know how this podcast works. We talk about locks. We got a guest picker. We send out the rest of my picks. I tell you guys to follow my Twitter. It's repeat. You guys know how it works. Let's just jump right into it. We're going to start off with the locks of the week. Starting us off, we got Mr. Blake Borman at 14-4 on the season, looking to go 12-0 in the last 4 weeks. His first pick, Tennessee -3 at home against Texas A&M. His reasoning, there are a few teams that are as balanced offensively and defensively as the Volunteers this year, while the Aggies are coming off a rough game against Bama. When I initially saw this line, I was surprised it wasn't closer to a touchdown, so I'm very confident taking Tennessee to cover this spread with their many weapons in their home stadium. He's trusting the Tennessee Volunteers to get them to 10-0. Then he's got the Notre Dame Fighting Irish -2.5 at home against USC. His reasoning? This is just going to come down to USC not having a high caliber defense. USC will be able to put up points with Caleb Williams, of course, but he's counting on this Notre Dame defense to get quite a few more stops than USC, trying to stop Sam Hartman and Notre Dame. So he's going with Notre Dame -2.5. Rounding it out, he's got our beloved Iowa Hawkeyes +10 on the road at Wisconsin. He figures his spread would be more around a touchdown, and when the initial line came out, he was very surprised to see it be double digits. Pretty much the same explanation I gave last week. Do I expect Iowa's offense to move the ball? No. But do I expect Wisconsin to be able to move the ball in this Iowa defense? Absolutely not. There won't be enough points scored in this game for Wisconsin to cover the 10 points. Hawks keep it close. So he's not saying they win. He's saying they keep it close. I'm saying the Hawks fucking go into Madison and beat the goddamn Badgers. I'm saying it right here. So his three, Tennessee -3, Notre Dame -2.5, Iowa +10. This is to go 12-0 in the last 4 weeks and move them to 17-4 on the season. Up next, tied for first, we got Nick. Nick is 14-4 as well. He's starting us off with North Carolina -3.5 at home against Miami. He said Drake May has been slinging the rock all year. He's averaging over 320 yards a game, and Miami has a pretty porous pass defense in the country. Plus, did you see Miami last weekend? Give me Mac over Mario and the Heels at home. Miami's dead. Mario lost the locker room. It's simple as that. Then he's got Washington State -7.5 at home against Arizona. This is a bounce-back game for Wazoo. Arizona played USC tough last weekend, but he looks for the Cougars to get back on track with the 2-score win at home. Yep, Washington State tough loss last week at UCLA. Looking for Washington State to bounce back there. And he's got over 55.5 in Kansas at Oklahoma State. He still believes Kansas is slightly fraudulent, but he loves Lance Leipold, and damn can they put up some points. Brandon Whedon is not coming out of the bricks down at Boone Pickens to play, but he does expect Oklahoma State to put up some points as well. So he's going with the over 55.5. So he's got North Carolina -3.5, Washington State -7.5, and the over 55.5 in Kansas at Oklahoma State. In third place by himself, the betting expert, Tate. He's at 11-7 now. He's starting us off with Toledo at Ball State over 48.5. He said both defenses look abysmal. Toledo can score a lot, and I think they can get most of the points themselves. With a bad defense, I can see Ball State putting some points up to hit the over. So over 48.5. Then he also has North Carolina -3.5 at home against Miami. He just doesn't see Miami going to Chapel Hill and coming out with a win. Drake May hasn't been his best all year, but he will sling it this week and lead UNC to a win and a cover. So that's what he's going with. And last but not least, he has Oregon State -3.5 at home against UCLA. Said Oregon State has looked like a great team this year. He thinks it'll be a great test for them, and they'll live up to the occasion and get the win at home. So his three picks, let me get back to them. Toledo at Ball State over 48.5. North Carolina minus 3.5. And Oregon State minus 3.5 at home against whoever the hell they play, UCLA. In fourth, by himself, we got good friend Jake Healy. He is now 9-1 on the season. He lost Liberty at Jacksonville State over 58.5. So he also had that same lock as I did on Tuesday night. So that started him off with a loss. Then he's got Oregon plus 3 at Washington. He just thinks the Oregon Ducks can get it done, I guess. Who knows? And he also has Tennessee minus 3 against Texas A&M. So him and Blake got the same pick there. So Healy now 9-1 on the season. He's looking to bounce back in those two games, or those two locks. Up next, we got CJ in 5th place by himself at 8-10. Starting us off with Houston plus 3 at home against West Virginia. That game is tonight, Thursday, October 12th. He thinks Houston can cover at home. He thinks they can win outright. He told me, he's like, everybody's betting West Virginia. So he's picking Houston, I guess. So Houston plus 3 versus West Virginia. He also has Oregon plus 3 at Washington. I don't know what these guys see in the Ducks, but they're betting on them. So Oregon plus 3. And then he has Oklahoma State plus 2.5 at home against Kansas. It's going to be an interesting game, that's for sure. But those are his 3 picks. Houston plus 3, Oregon plus 2.5, Oklahoma State plus 2.5. And in dead last, your boy, the podcast host, Hunter. At now, I'm 7-12. I was 7-11 coming into this week. I also had Liberty at Jacksonville State over 58.5. Jacksonville State just sucked big time. So that was a loss. My last 2 locks, Maryland minus 13.5 at home against Illinois. Maryland's coming off a tough loss to Ohio State, where they actually played pretty well, in my opinion. Definitely did not deserve to lose that game by 20 points. They should have covered that game. I think they take it out on a struggling Illinois team. They win this game by 2 touchdowns at least. Go Terps. And my last lock, Duke minus 3.5 at home against North Carolina State. It's looking like Riley Leonard, their QB, is going to be back. Duke's playing at home. I'm just not sold on NC State. Their offenses looked horrendous. Duke's has not. So give me the Blue Devils at home. So that's everybody's locks. Looking to get very hot this week. We've been good the past few weeks as a crew. I believe we're 63-44-1 coming into this week. Now we're 63-46-1. We're looking to get hot. We're looking to go 15-3, 14-4, something like that. Past few weeks, we've gone 12-6, 11-7, 10-8. You know, we're looking to just have one of those weeks where we just fucking hammer the board and we win some goddamn bets. I think it's the week for it, fellas. With that being said, we're going to hop into the guest picker segment. I got a very good buddy of mine, and we got a lot of games to talk about. With that being said, let's hop right into it. We got Nate Beutin on the pod. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize, but me and Nate, we just recorded the whole segment, the whole guest picker segment, and right as we were wrapping it up, my internet crashed, so we had some technical difficulties. I got all his picks, though, so it's no big deal. I'll just go over them real quick. Syracuse at Florida State. We both picked Syracuse plus 17.5. Just don't think Florida State's good enough to cover. So Syracuse plus 17.5. Tennessee minus 3.5 versus Texas A&M. We both picked Tennessee minus 3.5. He thinks Tennessee's going to win this game by double digits. I'm going to have to agree with him. I think Tennessee's the better all-around team. Kansas minus 3 at Oklahoma State. We both picked Kansas as well. He likes Kansas to win this game. He thinks they're a better team. I think Oklahoma State's just coming off a big win at home. I think the hangover is going to get them. So give us both Kansas minus 3. Auburn at LSU. LSU 11-point favorites. We went separate ways. Beutin went with the Auburn Tigers to cover the 11. And He doesn't think they're going to win, but he thinks they're going to cover the 11. He's basing it off that Georgia game. Give him Auburn. I'm going to take LSU. I think they ride high off that Missouri win. I think they come home. I think they beat the brakes off of Auburn, show them who the real Tigers are. Notre Dame -2 at USC. He's going with USC in this one. He thinks USC is good enough to cover this game. Caleb Williams, all that shit. You guys know how it works. I'm going to have to disagree with him. I'm going with Notre Dame -2. It's supposed to rain. Notre Dame's built to win in the rain more than USC is. Give me Notre Dame. Give Nate USC. Miami at North Carolina -3.5. We both got UNC. We both think Miami's dead. Mario Cristobal lost the locker room. Simple as that. He made a massive mistake in that game last week. His players don't trust him anymore. You can't come back from something like that, especially in 1 week. Give us both North Carolina -3.5. UCLA at Oregon State -3.5. Oregon State's 3.5 point favorite. We both think Oregon State covers at home. He doesn't think UCLA is that good of a team. In my opinion, I think they're all right, but I just think the Pac-12 is a home field advantage conference. Honestly, I think whoever's at home is most likely going to win the game, for the most part, unless there's just an obvious skill advantage. So we're both going with Oregon State -3.5. Then we got Florida at South Carolina -2. Nate's going with Florida. He's got them winning this game outright by about a field goal. I'm not going to agree with him. It's Cocktober, motherfuckers. Spencer Rattler bends over Florida, wins this game. They cover the 2 at home. Cocktober. That's the only thing you got to worry about. Cocktober. Then we got Iowa at Wisconsin -10. Wisconsin's 10-point favorite. He's going with the Hawks. He doesn't think they're going to win. He thinks they're going to lose by anywhere from about a field goal to a tutty. So he's got Iowa +10. In my notes, I got Wisconsin covers. But after hearing Nate talk about it, when we had our little technical difficulty problem, I think the Hawks cover as well. I really do. I think they win the game outright, 3-0. Hear that? I think they shut out the fucking Wisconsin Badgers, and they win the game outright, 3-0. That's a joke, by the way. But Iowa covers +10. And last but not least, this was the reason he wanted to be on the pod, this game right here. I feel bad that you guys can't hear him talk about it, but technical difficulties, my internet's taking a shit, so we're just going to get this done with. Oregon at Washington. Washington's a 3-point favorite. He said, fuck Oregon. Give him Washington. I'm going to have to agree with him. He loves Michael Penix Jr. He loves the Huskies. Washington -3. And my reasoning, I'm taking Washington -3 as well. Home field advantage. Washington covers this at home. I just talked about it. Pac-12, it's a home conference. Trust me. And another reason, Bo Nix, as a starter in his career, 1-6 on the road against top 10 teams. That shit matters. It doesn't matter how good he's playing. Some guys just don't have it in prime time games on the road. Simple as that. Give us both Washington -3. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap this one up. But first, we're going to talk about the rest of my Week 7 picks. I gave out a lot of these when was it? Tuesday night. As you guys know, I lost a lock. But the other 2 Week 7 picks that I gave out that have happened already, Coastal at Appalachian State, over 60.5, loss. And New Mexico State -4 versus Sam Houston State, that was a win. That brings my record now to 54, 47, and 3. So I'm over 500. I'm over 50%. I'm bringing home money. Follow these picks if you want to win bets this weekend. We're going to start it off with the game happening tonight. West Virginia -2.5 at Houston. I think they're the better team. I'm not listening to all the public's betting on West Virginia. I don't give a rat's fucking ass. West Virginia is the better team. Houston sucks. West Virginia is winning this game. Give me the Mountaineers. And then we'll fly through these pretty quick. James Madison -3.5 at home against Georgia Southern. South Carolina -2 at home against Florida. Troy -4 at Army. Miami, Ohio -8.5 at Western Michigan. Boise State -7 at Colorado State. Fresno State -6 at home against Utah State. Michigan -34 at home against Indiana. Charlotte +4.5 at home against Navy. Wake Forest minus 1.5 at Virginia Tech. Notre Dame minus 2.5 versus USC. Georgia minus 31.5 at Vanderbilt. Rutgers minus 5.5 at home against Michigan State. Oregon at Washington over 67.5. I truly think it's going to be a shootout there. It's going to be fun to watch. Kansas minus 3.5 at Oklahoma State. Ohio minus 6.5 at Northern Illinois. Air Force minus 10.5 at home against Wyoming. Texas State minus 16.5 at home against Louisiana Monroe. Miami at North Carolina over 56.5. I think Miami's defense is going to give up a lot of points. North Carolina's defense ain't all that good. Give me over 56.5 in that one. Colorado minus 11.5 versus Stanford. Toledo minus 17 at Ball State. Over 48.5 in Toledo at Ball State. Texas A&M at Tennessee under 57.5. And UAB plus 10.5 at UTSA. That rounds out my picks. There's like 27 of them in there. I don't know. Follow my Twitter at Sniffin Lines Pod. There's going to be probably about 10 to 15 more plays coming out. You can fucking bet your sweet dollar. I'm betting almost the whole fucking board this week. Give me a follow, guys, if you want to fade me or if you want to follow me. Like I'm telling you, you're not getting all my picks if you don't follow the Twitter. So give it a follow. All right. I appreciate you guys for listening. I apologize deeply that you didn't get the little back and forth that me and Nate Beutin had. It was a good old time, but you guys got his picks. He's looking to go at least 8-2 so he can be tied for first with Noah. But Nate, appreciate you coming on the pod for a little bit, even though you couldn't hear your voice on this. Your picks were great. I love them. Guys, I appreciate you guys for listening so much. This was your boy Hunter Michels. This was episode 16 of Sniffin Lines. Peace.